I listened to the Sufjan record today.
Yeah,
That is a really cool album.
Yay! I'm glad you liked it, or at least thought it was cool.
Yeah.
Maybe you didn't like it. Those are two different things
like
sometimes.
It's a lot to take in. I mean, obviously, one like full listen is not enough to dissect an album like that.
It's pretty mammoth, yeah. I love it, and every time I listen to it, I get through the first half, and I'm like, oh yeah, right. The first half of the album has all the bangers, and then the back half of the album also has a bunch of bangers, and it's great.
Okay, take two. Welcome to Noise Floor, a podcast about music through the lens of our favorite artist discographies. I'm Troy Sennett.
And I'm Matt Kistler.
And today we are continuing our Rilo Kiley series, talking about their second album, Takeoffs and Landings. This came out in 2001 twice. They released it in early 2001 independently, got picked up by Barsuk Records, big kind of indie powerhouse of the time, home of Death Cab for Cutie and that whole scene, and reissued it in the summer. So Matt, had you heard this record before this, or was this your first time hearing this one?
This is my first time sitting down with this one. I've definitely listened to songs here and there from this record, but I've never taken the time to really spin it front to back and, give it the full attention I would argue it deserves. Spoilers for the rest of the episode. I like this one. Sorry. But yeah, this is kind of my first like real dive into it, which I think was a pretty cool thing to have all these years later. But yeah, so I don't have much interesting history with this. But where were you when you first listened to Takeoffs and Landings?
Yeah, so I came to this one backwards too. I had gotten into Execution of All Things first, and then I heard right around the same time as I had heard Execution of All Things, Motion City Soundtrack released a cover of Pictures of Success, that I was like fascinated by. They don't do like, it's not a particularly faithful cover musically, like they Motion City Soundtrack it up for sure. But the melody and the lyrics were powerful enough. I was like, oh, I gotta go. I guess I gotta listen to more Rilo Kiley. And so that was what kind of led me to this album. I think I am maybe not as hot on this album, certainly as much as Execution of All Things. Although I think it's a pretty big improvement from The Initial Friend, which, as we talked about last week, we were kind of a little bit mixed on, or at least I was a little bit mixed on.
No, I'd agree. I'd agree.
Yeah. But I think this is, it certainly is like you can tell that they're much more ambitious. They probably toured a bit by this point, and they have an idea of what Rilo Kiley should sound like. So there's a consistency to this album that wasn't there on Initial Friend. But I think it's, it doesn't quite land everything the way that I know that they will go on to do.
That makes sense, yeah, and like coming at it backwards, as we apparently both have to some degree or another. That checks out. We don't have to talk too much about the initial Pitchfork review, but the way that Jenny Lewis's voice is described in that article is we'll say overblown in a lot of ways, but I do like it gets at something where I'm like, yeah, I do feel, especially like given that the Execution of All Things comes up next, like I know where we go from here, and I'm like, yeah, we're getting there, we're really getting there, and this is really good, but we're not quite at the like, really like everybody being at their strongest quite yet. Which is, it sounds like this is a dig, but like this is how bands progress. Like I'm not going to be weird about it at all.
Yeah, and they're not like a band that had they didn't have other bands before this that had any, particular prominence or anything. These first couple records are them figuring out how to do it and doing it really, really well for the most part. And I mean, even to the point, like I believe they recorded, like they self-produced this. I think they recorded it at their house. And it sounds great considering that. So like, they've got the engineering and production thing figured out by this point. And I think they're just like, they're honing the songs and like I said, a lot of what's on here is really great.
Yeah, absolutely. And like, not to get too far ahead, but like I feel like we get a really great transition from kind of where we came from with the Initial Friend / self-titled EP album. We're calling it an album. And this album with Go Ahead. Like it feels like we kind of gently get lifted into this new era, or transitional period, or whatever we want to call it. Which I think is kind of neat. That's obviously something you only really recognize in hindsight, but I think it's cool.
Yeah, it's like, I mean, I guess, yeah, we're just starting to talk about the album, but like, I think Go Ahead, it does work as an intro because it is this kind of like, it's, I guess, kind of the closest thing they do to country on this album. But that was like an avenue they were kind of exploring on a couple songs on Initial Friend. But I think it's much more, it's more pointed towards that like kind of indie rock thing, on Go Ahead.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, it's like this, I don't know, I find it to be a very inviting opener. I mean, it's sort of what the song is about. But it always like, I think it sets up the themes of the album really well.
Yeah, absolutely. And like it retains some of the lightheartedness of the early EP, that like I do really appreciate, but like it has this like bite to it that I really appreciate, just kind of the kind of sarcasm behind the actual lyrics. I really freaking love the line, if you want to have your cake and eat it too, and if you want other people to watch you eat it, go ahead. I think that is, it's like so goofy, but it's so good.
Yeah, it's close to that silliness of like the Frug or some of those songs on the first album.
Yeah, but I feel like more well executed in a lot of ways. Like it feels like it's done with more purpose than some of those songs did. Totally.
Yeah. But I like this as like I mean, obviously this album is called Takeoffs and Landings, and I think the focus on like beginnings and endings is important, and I think that like, yeah, this is a song about trying to start something, or I think you're right to call it like kind of the sarcasm and almost like bitterness of the song, that I think she's almost just like snapping it sarcastically at whether a boyfriend or whatever, to say like, if you want to like go, leave me or do something without me or whatever, like fine, do it, like I'm so cool that I'll let you do it.
Yeah. And like obviously a lot of this album is about dealing with people who, I don't want to say have different worldviews than you, but have different ways of approaching life than you. And this really kind of gives you a kind of lighthearted glimpse into that before we get, a little more serious about it in later songs. But I think this really, like, calling it an intro song feels dismissive, but like it truly does introduce you to the album, despite like kind of not sounding like a lot of the rest of the album, which is an interesting thing.
Yeah. So like from there, you get to Science versus Romance, which is a much more. This is the real, like, I don't know about thesis statement for the album, but musically it feels like the direction they're ultimately going to go in.
Yeah, it leans more into what this album is going to be about sonically and even lyrically, honestly. Like having an opening line, like I used to think that if I could realize I'd die, I'd be a lot nicer, is probably true, like for a lot of people, but also just like what a banger to come in on. But yeah, this song is very, very cool, and I think does like, yeah, it kind of gives you the other half of that equation. Like this is what we're actually like going for here, kind of holistically speaking, in terms of sound, lyrics, arrangements, etc.
Yeah, the arrangement is like much more filled out, and you know, a lot of keyboards. So this is where I had mentioned in the previous episode that Blake is maybe my favorite guitar player, or certainly my top few like favorite guitar players, and he's doing the thing on this song that I really love, like just these really like inventive, sometimes kind of like off kilter lead guitar lines and solos, and his guitar tones are always amazing. Yeah, I just the way this song sounds is pretty great.
Yeah, same. Also, it has 2 guitar solos, which I would normally call too much, but I kind of love it here.
Yeah, it works.
it totally works. I really like. I feel like the songs here that have these kind of these extended bridges, where like we kind of give the vocals room to breathe, and you know, everything kind of gets a chance to get like a little bit of a feature. I feel like the songs that have those are some of the strongest on here, mostly because like something like that could easily feel like way too much. But like I don't think on most of these songs any of the instrumental breaks overstay their welcome, which is a tough thing to do.
Yeah, like weirdly, some of the longest songs on this record are kind of like the least boring ones. They're the ones that I just love sitting with them, or I don't even realize that like 5 or 6 minutes have passed.
Right, yeah, it's wild. Like I look at a song like Pictures of Success, and that's like 7 minutes long or something like that. That's insane.
Yeah.
But like this one,
it feels like it's 3. Like
yeah, right, exactly. I think I have a note on another song here where I'm like, oh yeah, there's a minute long intro here, and it blows past like it was 5 seconds.
Yeah,
like that. This happens a lot on this record, and that's very impressive. Because that could get wankery real quick.
Yeah, and I think it helps that they're not like, they don't play like a jam band. Like it's right. It's done with a lot of intention. And it's not every song. Like they know when to use it and when to not. Where it's like, so yeah, Wires and Waves, for example, as we going on in the track list, is like a much more traditionally structured song, I think.
Yeah, for sure.
But it's doing some of the same things. It's got like a really cool guitar lead in it. And it's, I mean, this is one that's, I don't know, very much about the kind of more the sadness of ending than the frustration of trying to begin something, I think.
Yeah. It's and of course uses a plane crash as a metaphor in a pre 9/11 world, because that's where we are right now. Yeah, I literally checked when this came out, and I was like, there's no way that this was post 9/11, right? Okay, great. We love we love an era where it's not people had to. Sorry, I always go back to thinking about Bleed American when I think about this time in our collective lives.
Change the album title.
God.
Or like Explosions in the Sky have years of conspiracy theories that you like predicted 9/11 with your album cover.
Good Lord. I didn't know about that, and now I'm going to have to do some reading.
Oh, you've not seen this?
No, I had no idea.
So Those Who Tell the Truth Shall Die has like I think so there's a plane on the album cover. And I think in the liner notes there's a thing, what is it? Yeah, so the artwork has a caption that says "This plane will crash tomorrow," and for some reason, it's one of those like I don't know like chain letter or whatever things like viral things that goes around every once in a while that people say the album was released on September 10th, 2001. It just wasn't.
No, it was real. Yeah, I'm looking at it right now, and it was a week before that.
It was a week before, but like yeah, so it was close, but like that's
not that. Not that close. Yeah. Oh, that's I must sometimes I think about how bad I am at paying attention to things. I never realized that was a plane shining that light on that angel on that cover.
Oh, really?
Yep. Nope, I just somehow willfully did not. I'm pretty sure I own this album, so I've looked at the cover extensively.
That's a good cover. It might be the best Explosions in the Sky album artwork.
I think it is by maybe not a long shot, but a pretty long shot.
Actually, never mind. I take that back. The deluxe version of Take Care, Take Care, Take Care that like folds out like I don't even know how to describe it. It's like a house.
Oh, right. God, I forgot about that.
If you're counting like full on deluxe packaging, that's the best one.
Okay, the cover itself is fine, but yeah, that deluxe packaging is absolutely bonkers, and I really appreciate it. Anyway, sorry. Back to Wires and Waves.
That's okay.
I do think like in a lot of ways this is another like instrumental showcase. I really like the bass line at the beginning of this song. Like it sticks out in a way that the bass in other songs does not. And then yeah, we got another like cool extended instrumental in the outro. And like we've got the bridge where "And Lonelier" is just repeated. Like it's a more condensed version of like what we heard on like Science versus Romance, but I feel like, you know, despite its slightly more traditional structure, like it still really works.
Yeah, I was trying to think if this kind of feels like a song that would have been written to be a single. I don't know if they released a single. I guess Science versus Romance was the single.
Yeah.
But this one feels more, like I said, kind of more traditional structure, a little more direct with the lyrics and the arrangement.
Yeah, totally. And yeah, I think thinking about it as like a song that maybe was being written with like potentially being a single in mind, it could have happened. Like people do that. So
yeah.
But unfortunately, it's right before what I would maybe call the best song on the album.
Oh, absolutely! Like unquestionably, this is the best.
Yeah, sorry, I said maybe, and I didn't mean that.
Yeah, Pictures of Success is, I mean, it's a masterpiece. It's in my top 5, maybe top 3 Rilo Kiley songs for sure. Just to call out one of the many things that I love about this song, the guitar line that is like a harmonic with a whammy pedal that sends it up an octave. Is, so weird and cool, and like again, the kind of thing that I just think this is why Blake is maybe my favorite guitarist.
Yeah, I have like a note here that the little guitar flourishes are very fun, and then I added on to that in the intro, but also the rest of the song, and like that, like every single like little guitar thing that happens in this song is a delight, like through the whole thing. And also I realized this is the song where I said, yeah, the intro is a minute long, and I didn't even realize it until I checked the timestamp. But yeah, there's all that, and then there's also the vocals and the lyrics, which are what glue the whole thing together. And I wrote down, this song is dire but good, because it is.
Yeah, well, I think that like the line, "I'm a modern girl, but I fold in half so easily when I put myself in the picture of success," is kind of I don't know, it's this like this idea that like you want to believe that you're you know that you measure up to like the expectations of yourself, your peers, your generation, or whatever, but like just feeling like you can't hack it for whatever reason. And there's like a few songs that are, I think, kind of about on this album that are about that kind of similar idea. Where I feel like, and when you get to the bridge, this like, I've got my best shoes on, I'm ready to go. Like you're trying to psych yourself up, but I feel like even with all that the only way you can get there is through that like repetition, and even that might not work sometimes.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, it does. It feels like that part of the song is a psych up song, especially from everything that came before it, which is like a mixture of imposter syndrome, before people were referring to it as imposter syndrome, like by and large, and fatalism a little bit. Like just the chorus of when you're dead, it must be nice to finish when you're dead. That's it. It's like it's such a I guess I've already used the word dire, so I should think of a better word. But like it is so, it's such a downer, but like it also is delivered like very, very sweetly, which is something that this band does a lot, kind of over the course of their entire discography. But like it works so well.
I'll just add that I think this song might be the origin of my like kind of obsession with the sad trumpet.
Oh my god, I totally believe that.
It's so good. I mean, it's all over this record, but this song in particular. I mean, I guess I heard Joie de Vie before I heard this album, or even Execution of All Things. But Joie de Vie is kind of the band that I most associate with the sad trumpet. But that like the trumpet lines over emo guitars is deployed extremely effectively here and on a couple other songs.
I literally have a note that says in all caps, "Oh no, a trumpet line is here to make me cry." I quite literally have a playlist called Gut Punch Trumpet Lines that this song has been added to now. It's mostly Sufjan songs.
Okay.
It's one that I don't add to very often, even though I should, because several songs from this record could go on there. But it's a bunch of songs off Illinois. There's that one Empire song from the Joie de Vie split. Some doors aren't locked. They open with a key or without a key. And then there's one more like big standout one, and I cannot think of what it is right now. But yeah, this is also something that I am susceptible to and love.
Yeah, like you got to get some Joie de Vie on that playlist.
Oh yeah, I got to get a lot of Joie de Vie on that playlist. But yeah, it was inspired by every time I have seen Sufjan stuff performed, when they get to the trumpet line in Chicago, that's where I break down instead of like any of the lyrics, and I don't know why it is.
There's just something about that kind of trumpet line that I don't know, it just works.
Yeah. One thing I will say that surprised me about this song, and I've kind of come around on it good actually, instead of this is weird, is that we have kind of that vocal layering in the Ready to Go part, where like everybody is kind of getting a turn, and then we don't have any background vocals at all during the These Are Times That Can't Be Weathered part. And I think that's it's clearly an intentional choice, because they're doing a pretty big outro all told, but they choose to kind of leave the vocals just like one Jenny Lewis, maybe doubled a little bit, but I don't think so. I don't hear anything. And I think that's very effective, given how we've kind of taken a turn from the Ready to Go part in terms of like kind of going back inwards and like maybe having a little bit of hopelessness as a treat.
Yeah, I think that's exactly right. Yeah, it would be too much if there was like more layers on that outro.
Yeah, for sure. I think it works. I would say perfectly. That this is an almost perfect song, if not a perfect song. I feel confident saying that.
Yeah. So then after that, we got August. This is the first Blake-led song on the album. Um, his voice, man, it doesn't. I don't like it.
So yeah, I remember. I say I remember. This was literally like within the last couple of days. I wrote down that it sounds like he's trying to sound like Elliott Smith, and maybe not doing a great job.
Trying
of
to
it.
sound like Elliott. Yeah, that is what he's doing. It's just an Elliott Smith ripoff, and it's not a particularly good one.
Yeah, right. And like I feel bad saying that, but at the same time, I'm like, no. Like I've listened to enough Elliott Smith in my life that I know when someone's doing a bad impression.
Yeah, well, and his lyrics just aren't as good as Jenny's or Elliott Smith's.
Yeah, very few people's are.
I read an interview with Jenny. I don't remember which interview it was. But she was talking about how she would follow and occasionally retweet the Rilo Kiley bot on Twitter, which would just every hour just tweet out a random Rilo Kiley lyric. And every once in a while, she would see a lyric come up, and she's like, "That's not a Rilo Kiley song. I didn't write that." And then it's a Blake song. Never mind.
Wow. Amazing.
Which, like, I know there's some amount of bad blood there, but I thought that was very funny.
Yeah, that's incredibly funny, actually.
Yeah.
Some things I do kind of appreciate that the song has a beachy vibe, even if it is a little bit cheesy as a result. But one thing I really like about this song is that really, really loud synth part that pans across the stereo field. That rules.
Yeah.
That's the one big thing I like about this song. If you're listening to it, you can't miss it. You literally cannot miss it.
Yeah, it's not like I don't know, as a song it's not like horrible. I don't know.
No, it's fine.
Just can't do his voice.
Yeah, no, I understand that, like, I mean, I know that he went off and did another project beyond Rilo Kiley where he is in fact the lead singer and songwriter, and like I feel like his thing could work in isolation. I have not listened to his stuff outside of Rilo Kiley, to be clear. That might change before the end of this series. But like, man, going up against Jenny Lewis. Okay, yeah, now we need to talk about the insane thing that got said in the in the Pitchfork review, where it was implied that Blake's vocals are better than Jenny's vocals. That's
crazy.
Bonkers. There's no I can't imagine thinking that ever.
Right. Yeah.
Anyway, sorry that I had to stick that in there while we're on the subject. But yeah, like I think it mostly suffers because it is against the backdrop of all of these really great Jenny-led songs.
Right. And like, I think it's actually more of a problem on the later records than on this one, because I actually think that this record has the best Blake songs, but they just still kind of like pale in comparison to the best stuff that Jenny does.
Yeah, totally.
So after that, Bulletproof. I did not write down any notes about this song. I don't know why. It's a nice song.
It's a nice song. I think just because it's so short, it just kind of feels like an interlude, which it kind of is. It has a little bit of a similar like sonic feel to Go Ahead. Like it's a little more stripped back. But like there's a lot of lyrics packed into a less than 2 minute song here, and they work really well.
Yeah, it's very much, I mean, yet another kind of breakup or like impending breakup song. I think that is just kind of the through line of the whole record. The most dangerous part of a plane crash of a plane trip is the takeoff and the landing, and the most like dangerous part of a relationship is the like beginning and an ending.
Yeah. And like this one is clearly like, very, very explicitly referred to as having gone on too long.
Yeah.
How many blows to the belly will this thing take? It's been dead and dying for some time. But we refuse to let it go, which like is obviously a thing that a lot of people go through. But like, yeah, it's I think this song does a lot in its short runtime, but I think due to its short runtime, it does feel a little bit just kind of like it is not I don't want to say not a full song, but in ways it makes it feel more like an interlude than a song. But then again, we have actual interludes on this record too that are like 15 seconds long, so it's obviously a lot more substantive than that. But
yeah, I can see like wanting a little more out of the arrangement of this, or just to expand this one a little bit.
Yeah, and I think they totally could have, but I'm not mad about what we ended up with at all.
Yeah, and then after that, we do get a much more sprawling, kind of big song. One of the, I think, kind of the anchor points of the record with Plane Crash and C. Sad Trumpet is back on this one.
Mm-hmm.
This song feels like it's aimed at me in a way. Which is I in general tend to be the more like logical person in a relationship. Lacey and I talk about this somewhat often, that she's the emotional one, I'm the logical one, and this is very much a song of that the emotional one is writing to and at the logical one.
Yeah, 100%. And this is something that comes up multiple times on this album, I think. Like I feel like that I wrote more like Science versus Romance Part 2, am I right?
Yeah.
only in terms of like that general theme. But yeah, I wrote down as one of the like kind of big themes of this album, that like this kind of being an emotional creature dealing with people who are more strictly rational can be frustrating in that way, unless you like both are willing to work out that balance, which obviously isn't the case in this song, but it also kind of is, because like there is a like we arrive back at a God, what am I looking for? I might have actually lost the plot on the thing that I was talking about. It's fine. Anyway,
when you get to the bridge and you've got the I just wish you would come over and explain things, that's
what I was looking for. I totally somehow scrolled right past that line. That is exactly what I'm talking about. Yeah, like it's a recognizing it's cool in a song like this that is like pretty abjectly about like how bad this contrast can be, that we do still kind of arrive at like, and yet this is what I need in some cases, which is a wild admission, like for a song. Like usually you get a very like kind of, I don't want to say one dimensional, but like a slightly less dimensional version of a story like this, I guess, is what I'm thinking. But yeah, I really think that this song works well in that regard, just like in terms of lyrics and themes. But I also I feel like some of the like vocal affectations that Jenny does on this song are so good.
Oh yeah,
like when she sings / says talking it through, like that's like nasty, and I mean that in a complimentary way. Like that hurt me, even though I'm not the subject of this song, I don't think. But yeah, there's a bunch of moments like that on this song, and I think it really like brings it to a whole other level. Even beyond just like Jenny Lewis being a very good singer, like she is also very good at communicating an emotion through a shift in tone.
After that, you get one of the interludes, variations on a theme of Science versus Romance, which is just like a synth chiptune-ish little version of the melody from Science versus Romance.
Yep.
Not on the independent release of the album. I don't really know why it was left off that and then added to the Barsook version. But it's just a nice little breath in the middle of the album. Was this kind of? I feel like these chiptune things were like in style around then. A lot of times they'd be like hidden tracks or whatever.
Yeah, I feel like this was when we were kind of getting into like I don't think we got like full blown like people just doing that until I that's not true. Like people have always been doing chiptune music, but I don't think it like quite hit the mainstream until later in the 2000s, but like this was definitely a thing that people were like trying and like kind of tossing in as like a bonus track or an interlude.
Yeah. Sets you up for Small Figures in a Vast Expanse. Another Blake song, and I feel like I'm just gonna get repetitive saying that I'm just like allergic to his voice, but I am.
No, that's fair. My only vocal note on this one was that the background vocals really bring it on this one, which sure, of course they do. But
yeah, I like the guitar solo.
Yeah, I really like the like kind of I like the drums at the end a lot. Like I love when somebody wails on an open hi-hat in addition to a crash. Underrated, underutilized. Even though I know hi-hats are the worst thing on earth to record, so like I get it.
You make them sound good. They do here.
Yeah, no, they totally work here. I think it's great. But yeah, I do kind of like the line or the set of lines, but this is real life. It's supposed to be real life, so let's pretend we're not bored. Like that's a rough lyric, and I mean that in a complimentary way.
Yeah,
but
yeah, I'll give him that one.
yeah, that was the standout for this one.
So after that is Don't Deconstruct. This is a real nice song. It's just Jenny with the Rhodes for the most part. Yeah, it's another one of those like kind of trying to prove yourself sort of songs.
Yeah, and I made a specific note about the Rhodes, and I was kind of thinking like, does this song like. This song feels like it was written specifically with the Rhodes in mind. Like it wasn't like sitting at a regular piano and then like transitioning over to this. And I was trying to think if there was anything else that this would work on. And the only other instrument I could think of is a harpsichord. Make it the true Baroque masterpiece that it's meant to be. But I think like having the piano is a really nice compliment to Jenny's voice and also to the way that the song is arranged.
Yeah, the Rhodes is way better.
Oh yeah, 100%. Like undisputed champion of instruments, the Rhodes electronic piano. That's
Agreed.
Maybe not 100% true, but I think that most of the time.
I mean, outside of like the electric guitar, I think the Rhodes is up there.
It's pretty up there. It's one of the most pleasant sounding instruments I've ever encountered, like straight up.
Yeah.
I did on subsequent like listens after doing my like first like sit down take notes situation, I did notice that there are a lot of songs where we get some really good like do background vocals from both Blake and Jenny, but there are some really good ones on this one that kind of tie the whole thing together and like really flesh out the arrangement a little bit, even though it is pretty minimal.
Yeah, and it's nice to hear stuff like that that's not just in the context of like a almost like parody like it is on the Frug.
Yeah, totally. But yeah, I love this song. I think it's great.
Then next up there's Always, which is a completely reworked version of a song that was on Initial Friend.
Yeah.
This one, another one with that really long intro.
Yeah, it's like almost half the song.
Yeah. It's the one place on the album that just kind of feels like a jam that they recorded, which is like totally cool to do that once. I'm glad the whole album isn't that, but I think it's a good kind of showcase of how they've grown as a band from Initial Friend to this album.
Yeah, this song really felt like it got a glow up here. And like I as the synth guy, I gotta say that really nasty synth note at the beginning is so good.
It rules.
It's amazing. But yeah, I
wonder, let me look. I was gonna look and see if the credits have who played on which songs. They didn't put that in our notes. because they had some additional keyboard players. Obviously, Jenny and Blake played a fair bit of the keyboards on this.
Totally.
It does not look like anyone else is credited as keyboards. The one that's interesting is that Alex Greenwald from Phantom Planet played on Pictures of Success and Plane Crash and See.
Oh, awesome! I didn't make that connection for some reason. That rules.
Yeah, I just realized that today. But no, he is not the one playing the nasty cool synth note on Always.
I could absolutely see either Jenny or Blake working on weaning that sound out of a synth for a very long time. And maybe not even like necessarily making it as part of this, like the intro to this song, just going, I have this and I need it to go somewhere. And here it went, and that's great. I love getting to hear tasty sounds like that.
It's rare for me, I think, to prefer a re-recorded version of a song like this, but I think that this is definitely the kind of the definitive version of the song.
Yeah, totally. But
then after that is We'll Never Sleep, God Knows We'll Try. This is kind of the one that I just, if I don't know, I don't love this one. I think it's fine. It's the one Jenny song on this album that I can kind of take or leave. I don't know. What about you?
Yeah, I don't have a lot on this song. Literally the only note I have is this is one of the rare times where I'm going to say the instrumental bridge is too much, which is saying a lot on a 2-minute long song. But yeah, it's, you know, it's a fine song. It does feel like we've lost a little bit of steam, which is a little unfortunate for this point in the album. But yeah, I don't know. It's all right.
Yeah, I mean, it is. I guess you could say that it is like about a relationship that has like lost its steam, also. But I don't think that justifies the song.
I don't know that we're really trying to word paint that hard.
No,
but yeah, like, but I will say that like in the bridge, the set of lines, just close the door, you can watch Final Four, is like that's the most dismissive thing I've ever heard anybody say about anything ever, which is devastating. So like that's, to your point, like very much about something that has kind of not even lost its spark. It's way past that point.
Yeah, it's already at like the morning stage of it. It just they haven't like totally broken up yet.
Yeah, we're in that territory of earlier songs where we've, you know, hit the point where everybody recognizes that this has gone on too long, but nobody's willing to call it for real.
Yeah. And then after that is Rest of My Life. This is where I get to eat my words a little bit and say that I like this song. I think this is the best song that Blake has written for this band ever.
Wow. That's quite a statement.
Still don't love his voice, but the lyrics are really good.
Yeah. My note on the lyrics is it's sweet, I think, maybe. Well, and I think that stands.
I mean, it's sweet, but it's also like, I mean, I guess bittersweet is kind of the right use of that term. It's like,
yeah, 100%.
I mean, it's one of those almost like, you know, he's basically just like saying, I'm just never going to fully get over this relationship, this breakup, this person, which is, it's kind of, can be creepy or whatever in its own way. But like, I don't know. I love the way he phrases it in the song. I'm going to search for someone just like you. But I just love the, like, we'd tend the garden all day long, watching history unfold, and I'd be enough, and you'd be enough, and we'd grow old. Like that is a great verse. Even if the rest of the song is this kind of like desperate, sad, almost pathetic, like reflection on the end of a relationship.
Yeah, for sure. I'm unclear on whether or not I buy this as a closer, but it's a good song. It's a good song. I feel like I'm kind of left in the same place that I was with The Initial Friend, where I'm like, I don't know if there's another song that should be like swapped here, like not swapped, like this belongs on the record, I'd say, but like would something else do better in this position on the record? And I don't know that I have that offhand.
Oh, I think I disagree with you there. I think this is.
Oh, you think it is the correct choice?
Oh, absolutely. I think thematically, because it's the one that's about it's about truly about the relationship that has ended and is like looking forward. Looking forward is the wrong phrase, but like he is projecting out over the rest of his life that this is the thing that's going to define me. And I think that there's like a resignation and like I don't know, I feels like the right note to end this record on to me. I can't really see any other song that is in this set fitting in that spot.
Yeah, that makes sense. Like looking at it from a thematic perspective and like kind of looking at the arc of the rest of the album. Yeah, okay. All right. I feel that.
Did you check out the demo that they released later on?
I did. I kind of like it. It's weird.
The demo feels a little more like a something that would have been on Initial Friend, which makes sense. It was probably they're all kind of in the same era.
Yeah.
But it's got the drum machine and like the like kind of lo-fi tape noise stuff going on. I much prefer the album version. But as we seem to just really like on this podcast talking about watching songs evolve over different versions, and I think this is a fun one.
Yeah, I think it really is. I do. Part of me does wish that some of like the wilder like little sounds that like permeated the background of the demo were somehow preserved here, but I don't think there's a way to make that work. That it doesn't sound weird and hokey.
Yeah, it's just a different like setting basically for the song.
For sure.
Yeah, and then
then we get one more variation. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's the album, and except for the bonus track "Salute My Shorts," another Blake song, a fine like hidden track, I think.
Yep. Standout line for me from that one is the freeways, they go coast to coast. They've taken away all my good friends. That one hits different further in life you are.
I think seeing the title of this song, I thought this was going to be a joke song, and it's very much not.
Yeah. So wait, was it originally Spectacular Views, or did it get changed to Spectacular Views?
No, so it was originally called Spectacular Views, which is a lyric in this song, and then they changed it. Well, this song never had an official title because it was just a hidden track. But it was given the title Salute My. I think everyone just called it Spectacular Views, and then it was given the title Salute My Shorts after Execution of All Things came out, when there is actually a song that called Spectacular Views that I don't think has the line Spectacular Views in it.
Right. Okay. that makes sense. Well, so just kind of retrofitted to make it distinct.
Yeah. Well, okay. So there's a line in the Execution song Spectacular Views that says where the views are cheap and spectacular, which is
sure.
I don't know. It's a good title.
That's how you arrive back there. Oh yeah. It's a very good song title.
Yeah. But so yeah, this one is now just called Salute My Shorts. It's another like I kind of begrudgingly am fine like listening to it, even though still just not a big fan of Blake's voice, but I think it's a nice song.
Yeah. I did find it funny that title, their algorithm is weird, and the way that they do like follow-up songs when you like reach the end of an album or whatever is they base the next song off of the last song that you listened to. So like I guess this one was just like variations based, and it brought up a Jenny Lewis and the Watson Twins song that has like basically the same riff from the outro. It's very odd.
Oh, interesting.
It was the Charging Sky, but I think it like derives a little bit from that, and I think there's like something that sounds kind of like it in Don't Deconstruct too. But it was a weird. I was like, wait, I thought there were no more songs on this album, and then I was like, oh wait, no, this is a much later song on a different career trajectory. Never mind. Good song though.
So I've never heard that Jenny Lewis and the Watson Twins album.
I haven't listened to it in a long time. Her more recent output is more what I tend to listen to when I throw on a Jenny Lewis record.
Yeah, I am resolving to listen to both Rabbit Fur Coat, that Jenny Lewis record, and the Elected album, the Blake's solo project. That came, like, I'll listen to them chronologically as we get to that point in the series, because I think those both come out after More Adventurous. Yeah,
right,
between More Adventurous and Under the Black Light, they both do
yep.
solo records.
Yep.
And I have heard the Elected album once, I think, because I think I have the CD. But I've never heard that Jenny Lewis record.
Yeah, and conversely, I have not listened to that Elected record, so I will have to do that, and I'll have to revisit that Jenny Lewis record. So,
any final thoughts on Takeoffs and Landings?
No, I don't think I've got anything else that we haven't really said. My last note on big themes is Jenny Lewis is good, which I think I've said many times during this episode already.
Yeah, I guess we haven't like talked a ton about like her as like a presence in the band and in the scene, and like you can read a lot about how like influential, and I'm sure we'll talk even more about it as we get to their bigger albums, but like how influential she was on I mean, like Katie Crutchfield from Waxahachie and plenty of other of the, you know, like female indie rock musicians that are popular now have you know, we'll cite Rilo Kiley as like a big early influence. And yeah, you can certainly read a lot about the treatment of the band and guess that maybe the reason they didn't get the same kind of credit as Bright Eyes and Death Cab and some of their peers had a lot to do with having a woman singing most of the songs, which sucks.
Yeah, it turns out sexism alive and well in the, well, I was gonna say in the 2000s, but let's be real, we're not past that as a society.
Yeah.
I laugh because I don't want to cry. But yeah, no, like yeah, that got brought up a bunch in that Stereogum retrospective from a couple of years ago, where they like kind of talked to Katie Crutchfield, talked to Frances Quinlan, just kind of about Jenny Lewis's impact on non-male people who wanted to start bands, and how important that was to them, and that rules so fucking hard.
Yeah.
It's obviously I am an outside observer as a masculine person, but like I fucking love that, and Jenny Lewis deserves more props. Even though I would argue that in retrospect she gets a lot of props, but still not enough.
Yeah, agreed. All right, so next week we will be back talking about I think Rilo Kiley's magnum opus, The Execution of All Things.